Hey everybody, it's Saturday night and this is my waterfall tank. My regular viewers will know that I've gone through some issues in the past more than once with having some minor leaks in this tank, or not the tank itself necessarily, but the waterfall system up here. And I thought I had patched up the last of the leaks quite some time ago. I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. I was getting a lot of leaking that I thought was coming from this top area, and that's why you can see this sort of black garbage bag I'm using as a liner, and then underneath of it I put loads and loads of silicone. So you can actually see how the water is now standing in that gap. The water used to go down there and sort of weep down in the bottom, and I've got a big basin up here. This whole thing is probably 8 or 9 inches deep, and the water was weeping through the bottom. There was some areas where I didn't cover it completely when I had put it together. So all's been good for months and months on end. And the other day I noticed some water back here, and I thought it was from a water change I had done where I had thrown some filter material on this tray that was wet. And I thought the wetness had simply come from the filter material. But I was looking at it again today, and it seems like it's more wet now than it was a few days ago. And while I was standing there scratching my head, I saw a drip drip. And I looked. That's all wet. And we're getting the drips coming right off of that corner right here. Wherever it is. So, I mean, it's, you know, there's a significant amount of water there. It's definitely leaking. Now, it's leaking at the pace of one slow drip at a time. So I'm not going to worry too much about it, but we might be back in the situation where I might have to start thinking about tearing this whole thing down and kind of rebuilding it. And of course, we're going right into the winter. Which would mean I'd have to rebuild it in situ here in the house rather than going out and doing it in the yard. So I'd planned on doing something like that over the summer, but since I got the leak patched up, I wasn't too worried about it. And now here we are, you know, heading back into the cold time, and now I've got another leak. So I don't know what's going to happen over time. I've just discovered this literally a couple of minutes ago, and I thought I would just go ahead and shoot some Saturday night video of it. Got another drip dripping on there, so it's coming from somewhere. But by the nature of the way this stuff is constructed, I don't know if you've ever worked with this foam, expandable foam material before, but it could be leaking anywhere. I just saw a drop of water coming right out of here. So it's definitely leaking from inside somewhere. It weeps down through all the little open cavity foam, and then it drips out somewhere. So where it's leaking in, you know, it's not necessarily leaking right directly on the other side of where we just saw that water drip. It could be leaking again all the way up at the top, and then that water weeps its way all the way down and finds its way out down here at the bottom. So as long as it stays like this, and I'm just getting a drip at a time, and I can get in here every few days and just, you know, empty the tray before it gets too much, then I'm not going to worry about it. My concern would be having it, you know, sort of like the dam break, and if you've got a little bit of a leak, it gets bigger and bigger. This isn't really that kind of scenario, though. A dam failure or something that is affected by erosion, you know, you'll start to see the sandy bank of a river start to erode, and once it starts going, it just goes. This isn't like that. This is plastic and rubber and whatnot. If it's got a little hole in it that's developed over time, then that hole may continue to get bigger over time, but it's not just going to suddenly blow out and erode away, and I'm going to just start dumping water in my basement. I just really can't see that happening. But at the same time, you know, it's something I'm going to have to address. So I don't know exactly what we're going to do about that just yet. As I said, I've just sort of discovered it a few minutes ago. I'll have to give it some thought. Worst case scenario, I can shut the waterfall part off, just let the tank function like a fish tank, and then I can, you know, let it dry out and completely reseal the whole thing and start from scratch if I have to. Or, you know, again, I'm not really looking forward to rebuilding it, but I could reseal it. That wouldn't be too terrible of, well, yeah, that would be a pain in the butt. But anyway, like I said, I just kind of discovered this, and, you know, we'll have to figure out where we go from here. So make sure you're subscribed, and that way you won't miss that. or any other updates I got coming up. You never know what it's going to be with me. I got quite a few things on my list I've been meaning to get to, but been struggling here lately. So bear with me. We will get to them as soon as we can. So thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget, this one here is my waterfall tank. I'll see you real soon in the next one.